that was really making my motivation to go ahead and pursue government contracting. It led me into watching one of your videos, and then you said something about, oh, you got to update your dynamic business profile search. I didn't even know what that was. Okay, when I rewatched your video and you were explaining it, that's when I was like, oh, okay, so I need to go back on my SAM.gov profile. I need to go ahead and upload my capability statement. And the next day, Eric, a contracting officer specialist reached out to me.
When they sent you that, did you have a certification?
No, I didn't have a certification. I have the minority business enterprise, but federal certifications, Hub Zone or 8A, nothing.
Right. How was it? How was your experience at the conference?
Honestly, the conference was like going to an X-Men conference. Probably something that I've never experienced before, as far as like, just in a space full of positive energy, and more importantly, entrepreneurs, who really took that leap in regards to finding a place to really hone in on serving the government, and really getting paid for it as well too. So it was amazing. It was amazing, and I can't thank you enough, for putting that event together. I mean, whoever didn't go, I hope they make it next year. But needless to say, it was probably one of the best conferences that I went to all year. So.
No, I love it. I love it. So before we jump into that, obviously people want to hear your story and what you're working on. So why don't you just give us a quick background? Tell us who you are. Tell us where you come from, and we'll get into it.
Right. So my name is Astralane Josu. I'm one of the managing partners over here at Astral Appraisal Management. Essentially, we provide valuation services both on the commercial side and also to the public sector side. When the valuations we speak of is particularly commercial appraisals and residential appraisals. I started out in the beginning of this back in 2004 as an appraiser, and at 18 years old, my father got me into it. From there, I was there between 2004 all the way to 2009. I really seen, what it looked like, from a housing debacle and that major cycle that happened back in 08, 09. Yep. Once the Obama administration came in, they essentially changed some of the rules, if you will, and they enacted the Dodd-Frank Act. So that kind of created more of a push for what my company is. So essentially, Eric, what we do is we're more or less like a buffer between the lenders and the appraisers so that there isn't any collusion involved in the reports.
Okay. Yeah. Now tell us, how does that turn into government contracts, and how did you get involved in the government contract piece?
Yeah, so government contracting started for me back in 2020. I ended up meeting a person who was on the debt side for commercial real estate, and he linked me with a good GC and also an architect, and we were actually going after RFPs with local municipalities over here in South Florida. We were going after multifamily or mixed-use properties over in City of Lake Worth, and also Boynton Beach, and also Delray Beach. So we were able to just go ahead and start learning about the whole contracting aspect of it. So that was like my first stint. But at the same time, I think that we also realized that more or less there was more of a difference as far as like how projects should have went, and how difference of opinions really didn't materialize into how the RFP responses should have went. So we went our own separate ways. That still had me thinking about government contracting, because I wanted to get back into appraisals, but I wanted to create that appraisal management piece. So with that being said, I started looking up some YouTube videos. I came across your video, I came across someone else's video, and I was trying to figure out how to align those pieces together with, working the public sector side into what I currently do as an appraisal management company. It was great in regards to getting that refinance business in the beginning from the commercial side, but then, we're a slave to the interest rates when it comes down to the real estate market. So if the interest rates go up, a lot of borrowers, get out of the space, and then that kind of declines business. So that was really making my motivation to go ahead and pursue government contracting. With that being said, it led me into watching one of your videos, I think it was one of the late nights. I'm sitting there putting in some work, and then you said something about, oh, you got to put you got to update your dynamic business profile search.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here saying, I didn't even know what that was. And then I thought to myself, okay, when I rewatched your video and you were explaining it, that's when I was like, oh, okay, so I need to go back on my SAM.gov profile. I need to go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and upload my capability statement. And from there, put in as much keywords that resonated with, my profile, if you will. And the next day, Eric, a contract and officer specialist reached out to me. I kid you not, sent me an RFQ saying, "Hey, we need an appraisal done in New York. You have 3 days to respond." And then I'm sitting here saying, "Okay, I think this is a lie. I think it's out." So I googled the contract and officer specialist. I even reached out to him, said, "Hey, is this real?" He was like, "Yes, this is real." So then there, I went and responded. I didn't win the award. The second go around, I received another RFQ opportunity. Didn't win that one, but the third one I actually won, and then that's when it started the snowball effect. All of these were firm fixed price contracts.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now we probably won about like 15 or so at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been all with USDA Rural Housing. So it's been a great agency to work with in the beginning. And for the most part, I really thank you so much in regards to dropping that video, because if I didn't hear that, I would have never have took that information and applied it immediately. So
Yeah, it's interesting. Thank you for sharing that story because, and that's why I invited you on. I think a lot of times when I talk to people who are just starting out, they want to make this thing very, very complicated. And I go, we always miss the fundamentals. I'm not saying it's not complicated. Obviously, now with the experience, but we miss out on some of the fundamental work, right? And let me ask you a different question. When they sent you that, did you have a certification?
no, I didn't have a certification. I still don't even have a. Well, now I do. I have the minority business enterprise, but federal
Right,
certifications, Hub Zone or
right,
8A, nothing,
right. Okay,
nothing, no.
yeah. I wanted to get that out first because, by the way, I don't know this. We've never talked, so because a lot of times people go straight to certification, right? People ask me, Eric, what do you think is going to happen now with the new administration? And I'm like, every administration does government contracts. What they're really trying to say is what's going to happen if I, with my certification under the new administration. They're leaving that part out, right? Because a lot of people who are unfamiliar think the only way to win is having certifications. And so I'm glad you again reconfirmed what I always suspected was that I didn't believe that they reached out to you because of the certification, but I definitely want you to confirm that. So great. So they reached out to you because of your keywords,
Yep.
and then from there you submitted 2 times, and then the third time. Um, Now